Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. I have the lighting and I have the fan. How you doing? Well, we have come to that point in my more than a walkthrough series of videos featuring the Pride Tarot, a collaborative deck, published by US Game Systems in April 2020, where we have completed the Major Arcana and now we are on our way to the Minor Arcana, beginning with the Suit of Swords, then Wands, then Cups, then Pentacles. So I'm going to have my, I'm going to have my awesome audio-visual person do a close-up of the cover of the box of the Pride Tarot. And this beautiful image, as you all know by now, is illustrated by Isabel Hayes. It is her venerated vision of the Sun card. And it is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It is really one of the most beautiful Sun cards I've ever seen. Really happy with the Sun card. Thank you, Isabel Hayes. And the card we're going to focus on today in this video is the Ace of Swords, which was illustrated by Edmund Zebrowski. And I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the Ace of Swords, illustrated by Edward Zebrowski. It is a gorgeous Ace of Swords. I am just like mesmerized by it. I'm like, ooh, you please, you beautiful. You gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yes, so Ace of Swords. And I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a Z. Yes, here. Okay, good. So Ace of Swords. Okay. Ace of Swords by Edward Zebrowski. The creative and crafting arts, forging and weaving into being, are mysteries at the very fiber of the LGBTQ+ spirit. In the Ace of Swords, we look beyond the qualities of skin color or gender and focus instead on grander visions. Crowning the Ace of Swords, Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. Wait a minute. Crowning the Ace of Swords, Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man reminds us of the rich LGBTQ+ history that has taught us to look at the way the world works through new eyes. Let me say that again. Crowning the Ace of Swords, Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. I don't see it. I'm familiar with Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, but I don't see it. Oh, I see it now. So I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the card again, zeroing in on the top half of the Vitruvian Man design by Da Vinci, the late and great Leonardo da Vinci. And it says, reminds us of the rich LGBTQ+ history that has taught us to look at the world, at the way the world works through new eyes. In our current age, we are redefining our culture's gender norms. Below the sword runs an A machine. An A machine. I'm going to say it's this. And I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of this. And it's this part over here that's above the title. Okay. Below the sword runs an A machine, the mathematical construct created by gay computer scientist Alan Turing. Alan Turing. Why does that name sound familiar? The mathematical construct created by gay computer scientist Alan Turing aided the theory of computation, propelling technology into our futures. If I didn't know any better, Alan, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to include a Wikipedia link about Alan Turing. The pageant crown, of course, of drag culture is a symbol of self-authority in the multitude of ways. Bast. Bast. Well, we need to do a quick close-up of Bast. We cannot do a quick close-up of Bast? Okay. The pageant crown of drag culture is a symbol of self-authority in the multitude of ways that one wishes to express it. We are finding the liberty to break new ground and challenge existing social structures. The way we champion for the rights of the LGBTQ The way we champion for the rights of the LGBTQ plus community brings us all together to create something new. And of course, it makes sense that there is what looks like a red high heel at the edge of one part of the crown. It's a really beautiful card. And I love that it has a lot of things going on. It has this branch of what to me could be rosemary or bay. It has the different jewels that are encrusted in the crown. It has the third eye. It has a white ribbon, a red ribbon, and a ribbon that I'm not familiar with. Although, no, it's a rainbow ribbon, because I can see the edges of the blue and purple. Okay. A lot going on in this card. And now, before I read the bio of Mr. Zebrowski, you know, for me the Ace of Swords has always come to represent the triumph over great obstacles and adversity through one's own power. And it definitely is an indication of one standing tall in the face of adversity. It also has as its traditional meaning, and I would say this is more for those of us who live in the Northern Hemisphere, the beginning of autumn. Although traditionally swords do relate to the air signs. So even if somebody who lives in the Southern Hemisphere would look at the Ace of Swords like it's the beginning of spring as opposed to autumn, I would say more so the Ace of Wands would be the beginning of spring or the date of the vernal equinox. And regardless of where one is on planet Earth, the Ace of Swords would represent the autumnal equinox. I'm also going to say that because Archangel Michael is often depicted carrying a sword, I would also say that the Ace of Swords represents the presence of Archangel Michael. And it is no coincidence that the autumnal equinox is the date when the sun enters Libra. And when the sun is in Libra, there is another holy day that corresponds to Archangel Michael, which is September 29th, one of his festival dates, although in more modern times it's come to represent Angels' Day, as opposed to, or rather All Angels' Day, as opposed to Michaelmas, or St. Michael's Day, just like All Saints' Day is for all the saints. Okay, Edward Zebrowski. As an openly gay, in his own words, as an openly gay man, I have been reading cards and working with healing energies for over 2 decades now. I've done volunteer work with HIV/AIDS patients and those that care for them for a long time with tarot. I am always intrigued by how symbols work. I am always intrigued by how symbols work themselves into the global mind and allow us to have guideposts on our paths. Edmund is the creator of Pixie's Astounding Lenormand, published by US Game Systems Incorporated. This is one of the few bios that does not feature any contact or social media information for that artist, but I will do some research, and if I find anything depicting the artwork or as a way of communicating with Edward Zebrowski, I will absolutely make sure to include it in the description box below. YouTube, as always, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. I wish all of you many blessings of love and light, prosperity and peace, money and magic, wholeness and healing. And of course, thank you for all of you for the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscriptions to my YouTube channel, and of course, for scheduling your sessions. And finally, thank you once again to US Game Systems Incorporated for gathering all of these amazingly, phenomenally talented artists to co-create Pride Tarot, a collaborative deck. Good night, and stay tuned for the next video.